What's up, guys? So I was just editing some videos. I just finished meditating on a little break I had in my I let my mind wander for a little bit. I started thinking about our society, specifically in America, and it's pretty fucked up. I mean, we claim that we are a free country. We claim that the best way to live is the American dream. But if you really look into it and you start to educate yourself on the real things that are going on, it's a little fishy. And so I was thinking, and I really got disgusted, and I had to turn on the camera and start talking about it. So if you think about it, humans need 4 things to live, and that's food, water, shelter / a home, and medicine. Those 4 things are owned by major corporations, which means they own the things that we need to survive. So you're telling me without them, we can't survive. We have to give them money at whatever price they want to put it at, and then we'll get what we need. To get organic, real, non-GMO, unchemicalized food, we have to pay a much more amount. So now we have to pay a lot of money to maintain proper health so we don't die of sickness. And when it comes to our homes and shelter, we have to get into a 30-year debt sentence to pay off our house, when it takes a mouse 1 day to dig a hole, or a fucking bird to build a nest in like 3 days. It takes 30 years for us to make something truly ours. And then again, it's still not even ours, because if you don't pay your taxes, they'll take it away. And when you look in the street, there's no fruits or vegetables on the trees for us to eat. You can't go to a stream and sip out water because it's polluted or some shit. School system is disgusting. We're being taught to be the same. We're all being taught to be the same thing as our neighbor. We're taught to think the same way as the person next to us. And then you find someone who doesn't think the same, and you both call him weird or abnormal, and you shun him out of your life because you don't want to get out of that similar lifestyle that you and your neighbor share. And then in school, you become like a lab rat, in which you need to get good grades and pass tests to be accepted into the society. We're not even taught to think in school. We're taught to memorize things. We're not taught to think for ourselves. We're basically being herded and raised in our education system to fit in properly in the places that society wants us to be put in. We're being raised to be smart enough to do the little things, but dumb enough not to realize the truth. So then we work our entire lives missing out on the more important things in life, and then we end up old and grumpy and regretting all these things that we never did. It's like a fucked up game. And then we have children, and they take our place when we die. It's like there's an elite power out there who controls these corporations that have big money, distract us with jewelry and branded clothing and logos. They let us choose our occupations when we get out of college and tell us that we're free. And we're dumb enough to think that. This is a terrible trap that humanity has fallen into, but if you think about it, it's our fault. All these people want, the elite behind all these corporations, is power. That's how they run. That's what they're looking for. That's what they feed off of. And they use money to control us. They think that we need money, that if you are poor, you're shunned out. And we depend on this dollar to feed us, to house our kids, to buy our medicine, in which the medicine we buy today can actually kill us. And then they distract us with entertainment, with TV, with media, with news, with logos and brands and jewelry. We're dumb enough to fall for it. The human race is fucking sick. We're like, we treat animals like if it's a fucking piece of plastic. Beautiful thing that used to roam free is now in a factory stuck being mistreated. I'm not a vegetarian or vegan or anything, but those are lives too. And we're so cocky that we think we're above that animal because the animal can't speak our language. The animal can't, create things. We can't look at something without saying, what can I do if I owned that thing? How much money could I make from it? Or we always look at it, we always want to own something. We always need it to be ours. The obsession of control in this society is beyond my belief. It's incredible how far we've gotten with this shit. We're polluting the air. We're destroying the forests. We are raping the sea of its fish and wildlife. We are the worst thing that I think Earth has ever encountered. And Earth will survive. It will. It's us who will go extinct one day, and we'll do it to ourselves. We see everything as an object to be owned or something to profit off of. And we're obsessed with this idea of, we have to know everything. If it's not scientifically proven, it's not true. We're obsessed with that as Americans. We're obsessed with it. So we're spending money on science to figure out these things that don't even fucking matter. Drug companies and cancer societies are relying on our suffering to make a profit off of the sick people. The food system is terrible. We're eating toxic crap. That's what they make cheap enough for you to buy. And they make it taste real fucking good so you can buy it. Cows, chickens, and pigs in the factories, they're injected with chemicals and steroids. And then they get slaughtered and live terrible lives and then cut it up nice and neat. Make it look nice and red so we can buy it at the grocery store. So we spend our days, Monday through Friday usually, working 8 hours or more. They center their work on one specific niche and exchange for cash. And we believe this cash is of value because you can buy things with it. You can't do anything else besides buy things with it. You can't eat it, can't snort it, can't do anything with it. It's absolutely, the only value of it is exchange for something you need. Do that for 8 hours a day or more. We come home, and you'd think we'd come home to a beautiful, happy place with a nice dinner with all your folks, your family, sitting there talking about how beautiful life is, their philosophies on things. Usually that's not the way it works. Usually we'll come home after a long, miserable day at work. We'll come home, we'll open the refrigerator, grab a nice beer, turn on the television, and then watch an illusion of life on TV. And we do this to unwind from the terrible work day that you had. And you fight your way to the weekend. You're posting on Instagram, Facebook, how terrible your job is, or how you hate Mondays and you can't wait for Friday or Saturday. And then when Saturday comes, you're ready to party. You're not even sober for most of the weekend. So you live in this terrible cycle of work for paper, all to come home to watch TV and pay for that house that has the TV in there. And then on the weekends, you waste your money on drinks, maybe a small vacation to unwind from your terrible normal life. We see this as good, we see this as successful. The harder you work, the better clothes you'll get. The harder you work, the more money you'll have to buy a bigger house, to buy a nicer place, to buy a nicer, more respectable car. We're all living the same. We're raised to be the same product. The education system is outdated. In a way, it's kind of like a factory, and it prepares you, it molds you to become this product. Now, I'm not saying those things are bad, but I'm saying a lot of people get into those professions and go out into the world doing things for the wrong reasons. The American dream, it sounds like it was almost like a trap, like they were doing this on purpose. Industrial age started, and they started mass producing a lot of things. They started advertising this American dream. That's when the American dream started. And they advertised that, becoming a farmer is old school. forget learning survival skills, forget learning how to build, forget learning how to plant your own shit or raise your own animals, because we'll do that for you. All you have to do is buy a little piece of property with a white picket fence, and then you focus on one job, and all you got to do is go to that job for 8 hours a day, and you come home, you make some money, and then all you have to do is go to the grocery store down the block and pay for your fruits and vegetables. You don't have to grow anything, you don't have to worry about that. And as dumb as we are, we all fell into the trap. Personally, I think that is a form of slavery. That they control our food, they control our medicine, they control our water. And then once people figure out what's going on and they start to realize that they're not in control of their health and their food and their water, or even their house, then can I do anything about it? That's when fear comes into play. Now SWAT teams are just jamming into houses for no reason, or without a warrant. They're throwing everyone in jail for the most stupid things. The cops nowadays look like they're fucking Marines ready to bomb a city in Iraq. When did life become so hard, so difficult, so corrupt? And I think that's what's going on. That's what's wrong with America. We're driven by materialism. We need brands and logos to tell us who we are, to give us worth. Large corporations are in control of our food or water, housing, and medication. So are we really free, or are we that dumb to think that we are? Thanks for listening to me babble on about society and all that stuff. It was a little unstructured. It was just me just talking. If you have any comments, if you have different views on it, let me know. Send me a message through Facebook. Comment in my YouTube, under my YouTube channel. And if you liked my views, subscribe and like my video. Alright guys. Peace. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Go out there and change the culture of this place.